I was buried in quarterly sales data when Martin barged in. No knock, no warning, just a loud, deliberate entrance meant to shake me. "Elena," he barked, tossing a file onto my desk. "We need to talk." "Now." I glanced at it, then at him. For years I'd worked under this guy, Martin Rhee, the type who only noticed women in the office when he needed coffee or his schedule fixed. He loved power, loved flexing it even more. I stayed calm. Always did. "Of course," I said, nodding to the chair across from me. He didn't sit. He loomed. "The board's restructuring the leadership team," he said, voice clipped. "We're moving in a new direction. We need people who can lead, not just follow spreadsheets." I blinked, stunned for half a second. "You're firing me?" His smirk hit like a punch. "Let's not be dramatic. We're releasing you from your position. Effective immediately. No warning. No performance review. No nod to the fact my department just posted the highest revenue growth in 3 years." "I see," I said, keeping my voice steady. "May I ask why?" His tone sharpened. "You lack vision. You manage tasks, not people. This industry needs strong leadership, assertiveness, confidence. Traits you haven't exactly shown." There it was, a jab at me, at my gender, dressed up in corporate buzzwords. He didn't think I fit his mold. "Fine. I understand," I said, neutral as ever. He narrowed his eyes, thrown off. He wanted a fight, maybe tears. I'd learned long ago how to keep my cool in rooms full of egos. "I'll need your badge and laptop by the end of the day," he added. "Access cuts off at 5 o'clock. HR has your severance." I nodded, stood, and offered my hand. "Thank you, Martin. I appreciate the clarity." He hesitated, shook it, then muttered, "Good luck out there," before strutting off, smug as hell. I sat back down, exhaled. My hands didn't shake. My breath didn't catch. I felt lighter. He thought he'd won, but he didn't know what I knew. 2 weeks ago, everything changed. Something big. I'd been waiting for the right moment to use it. I glanced at the photo on my desk, my dad, smiling at the ribbon cutting for the company's first office. The same company Martin just kicked me out of. "You told me to wait, Dad," I whispered, running my fingers along the frame. "Wait till the time's right." I started packing. Not much, just a mug my team gave me last Christmas, some notebooks full of ideas Martin never bothered with. Outside, the office buzzed. Sympathetic glances, avoided eyes. No one asked questions. They didn't need to. I left with a small smile, no fuss. Stepped into the sunlight and felt 15 years with that company slide off me. They thought they'd ended me. They'd just set me free. I pulled out my phone and texted my lawyer, "It's time. Prepare everything." The reply was instant, "Understood. Shareholder meeting can be set in 5 business days." I looked back at the glass building, gleaming like it owned the world. Martin thought this was over. He had no clue what was coming. Next time I walked in there, it wouldn't be as an employee. It'd be as their majority shareholder. And the smile I'd wear then? That'd be real. 2 weeks earlier, I'd sat in my family lawyer's office, staring at an envelope I couldn't open till my 30th birthday. Mr. Harrington handed it over with a grin. "Your father left strict instructions," he said. Not a day before. I smirked. "What is it, a late birthday card?" He just smiled back, knowing more than he'd let on. "Your father was a man of vision. He trusted you more than anyone." That stuck with me. My dad founded this company. When he died 5 years ago, it changed, got colder, more cutthroat. Martin came in after, all charm and MBA swagger, and tore down what Dad built. I stayed, thinking I could hold it together. Now I saw he'd planned for this. On my birthday, I opened that envelope alone. Inside was a letter in his handwriting and a trust document. "Elena," it read, "if you're reading this, you're 30. You're ready." I never doubted it. "You've worked twice as hard for half the credit." I saw it all. I knew the company might turn on you, so I gave you the table. I flipped to the document. 90% of the shares, his shares, now mine, held in trust till I turned 30. Full voting rights, effective immediately. I read it 4 times to believe it. I wasn't just a shareholder. I owned the damn place. My hands shook as I called Harrington. Is this real? Yes, he said. Airtight. The board doesn't know unless you tell them. Why not sooner? I asked. He wanted you to see the company for yourself first. To decide if you wanted it. That hit me. I'd spent years overlooked, talked over, watching Martin take credit for my work while he climbed. I'd smiled through it, thinking hard work would win. It didn't. Leverage did. And now I had it. Let's talk tomorrow, I told Harrington. What's next? We'll prep the shareholder meeting docs, he said. Notify the board when you're ready. Not yet, I said. Not till I say so. There was a pause. What's your plan, Elena? I stared out my window. I'm going to walk in there and show them who they tried to fire. I didn't bother with the exit interview. HR called twice, emailed once. I ignored them. Let them stew. Instead, I sat in a quiet downtown cafe, sipping a flat white, while Mr. Harrington slid the final draft of the shareholder meeting request across the table. It was official now, 90% of the company's voting power, mine on paper. Martin wouldn't see it coming, and that was the point. You sure you're ready? Harrington asked, adjusting his glasses. Once you submit this, it's a grenade in their boardroom. I met his eyes steady. They pulled the pin when they fired me. He nodded. Fair enough. The documents were simple, direct, a notice for a special shareholder meeting, one agenda item, leadership review, and new executive appointments. Martin's whole game was control through confidence, bulldozing meetings, drowning out quieter voices, flashing charm when it suited him. The board ate it up. They wouldn't anymore. I'll serve notice Friday morning, Harrington said. Meeting's set for Tuesday. Gives them 2 days to panic. I smiled. Perfect. That afternoon, I met Caroline Winters, the trustee who'd managed the shares since Dad passed. She was sharp, no nonsense, with a memory that didn't miss a beat. I've watched that man dismantle your father's legacy brick by brick, she said, handing me a folder. You don't owe him politeness. Inside was everything I'd need for Tuesday: ownership certificates, voting records, and a breakdown of Martin's run as CEO. Declining employee satisfaction, rising turnover, overspending on executive perks, flat revenue in a growing market. He's been coasting on inflated projections, Caroline said. 2 more years like this and he'll tank the company. I nodded. I'll let the numbers talk. I left her office, passing a painting of Dad outside the first headquarters, his hand on my shoulder, me, a kid in a red dress. He believed in legacy and people. I felt him with me still. By Monday, rumors were flying. Texts from old colleagues piled up. What happened? Did you quit? Martin's acting normal, but HR's weirdly quiet. Hope you're okay. I didn't reply. Silence was my move. Let Martin think he'd erased me. Let him strut a little longer. That night, I stood in front of my mirror, trying on a navy suit I'd bought ages ago but never worn. Tailored, sharp, the kind you wear when you're not asking for power, you're taking it. I practiced a few lines, nothing fancy, just clear, measured, undeniable. The truth would carry me. Tuesday morning came fast. I got to the office 10 minutes early, walked past the receptionist like I belonged. She blinked twice but didn't stop me. Upstairs, the boardroom lights were on, shadows moving behind frosted glass. Harrington met me by the elevators, calm as ever. They're in there, he said. Martin's talking, thinks it's a routine strategy review. I smoothed my jacket, took a breath. Not for long. The door opened with a soft click. Heads turned. Martin, mid-sentence, froze. Elena, he said, eyebrows shooting up. This is a board meeting. Board members only. I set the ownership papers on the table, smiled. Exactly. Then I took the head seat. The room went dead silent. Martin stared, confusion twisting into disbelief. He thought he'd boxed me out last week. Elena, he snapped, sharper now, this is for board members. Employees aren't allowed. I'm not an employee, I said, cool and even. I'm the majority shareholder. That hit like a shockwave. Board members shifted, some stiff, some leaning in. Mr. Dalton, an old-timer from Dad's days, picked up the document, scanned it, looked at me. Is this accurate? It is, I said. 90% of the shares transferred to me through a trust on my 30th birthday. All legal, filed, done. Martin glared at Harrington, who handed the board secretary a copy of the certificate. You can't be serious, Martin said, voice climbing. This is absurd. Why would your father? Because he trusted me, I cut in. And he knew what this company would turn into without oversight. Everyone caught the jab. Martin had poisoned the culture, loyalty over skill, flash over substance. The numbers proved it. Let's get to it, I said, opening the second folder. As majority shareholder, I've called this meeting to review executive leadership, starting with the CEO. Martin shot up, face red. This is a coup. A vendetta. You think you can just waltz in here? I'm not asking, I said, voice rising just enough to own the room. I'm using my rights. I slid the financial report across the table. Let's talk performance. The numbers didn't lie. Employee satisfaction down 38%, turnover up 47%, 3 discrimination complaints rotting in HR, flat revenue in a hot market. I've got testimony from department heads, surveys, audits, I said. Plus, misuse of funds, unauthorized trips, fat bonuses, fake investor reports. All signed off by you, Martin. He clenched his jaw. You're twisting data for your little revenge fantasy. I don't need to twist anything, I shot back. You banked on no one big enough calling you out. That ends now. The room held its breath. Effective immediately, I said, pulling the final paper. I'm moving to remove Martin Rhee as CEO. My 90% vote carries it. The secretary stammered, you don't need a second? I own 90%, I said. That's majority any way you cut it. Dalton cleared his throat. Per the bylaws, the motion stands. Martin slammed the table. You can't do this. I already did, I said. He stormed out, rage and disbelief all over his face. But here's the thing, he didn't look powerful anymore. He looked small. Once the door shut, I turned to the board. This company deserves better. So do its people. Starting today, that's what they'll get. Dalton nodded, a faint smile breaking. Welcome back, Elena. The air shifted. It wasn't over, it was just beginning. Martin's exit left a vacuum in the room. The board sat there, papers in hand, processing what just happened. I didn't waste time. We've got work to do, I said, keeping my voice steady. This isn't about me settling a score. It's about fixing what's broken. Heads nodded, some hesitant, some all in. Mr. Dalton leaned forward. What's your plan, Elena? I tapped the financial report. Start with the truth. Then rebuild. By the end of the week, Martin's nameplate was off the CEO door. I didn't move in right away. No rush for a bigger desk. I had bigger priorities. Monday morning, I called an all-hands meeting in the main conference hall. The same room where Martin used to flash sales charts like trophies and toss fake praise to his favorites. This time, it felt different. People trickled in, whispering, curious. Front rows stayed empty. Nobody wanted to look too eager. Some faces were nervous, others skeptical. They'd been burned before. I stood up front, no notes, no slides. Just me. Some of you know me, I started. Some only know what you've heard. But here's the deal, I'm not here to grab power. I'm here to bring back trust. A few heads tilted. They were listening. For years, this place ran on you, your ideas, your late nights, your belief it mattered. That got lost. I'm bringing it back. I paused, let it sink in. Last week, I was fired. Told I wasn't what this company needed. That I didn't have what it takes. A couple of people chuckled, nervous at first, then real. I didn't fight it then, I went on, because I knew something Martin didn't. Leadership isn't about yelling or strutting around. It's about vision, respect, and lifting up the people who do the work. I scanned the room, saw familiar faces, engineers I'd stayed late with, assistants ignored too long, analysts buried under egos. Starting today, that changes. Over the next 2 weeks, I did something crazy. I listened. Met with everyone, department heads, team leads, interns, even the custodial staff. Asked what sucked, what they needed, who deserved more. Then I moved fast. Promoted Maya from customer service to head of client experience. She'd been doing the job anyway while her boss stole the credit. Brought back Kevin, a product developer who'd quit after being passed over for less qualified guys. Restructured HR from the ground up, dug through every ignored complaint and fired mid-level managers who'd bred fear and favoritism. People noticed. The break room started buzzing again. Laughter came back. Desks got personal, photos, plants, life. One night, I walked the halls alone, saw a whiteboard near engineering. Someone had scrawled, "She came back," underlined twice. I stopped, stared at it. Not, "She took over," or "She won." She came back. That hit harder than any title. The next week, I moved into the CO office. Not for show, just because it was time. The nameplate was new, simple, Elena Run, Chief Executive Officer. I didn't bring much. Just one photo of me and Dad at the company's opening, both smiling. I set it on the desk and got to work. Launched the People First initiative, something Dad always wanted. A program to spot talent, reward teamwork, break glass ceilings. No more cliques or whispers, just good people getting their shot. It was working. People stayed late because they wanted to, not because they had to. Turnover slowed. Ideas started flowing again. One afternoon, Maya popped in, eyes bright. "You ready?" "Board's waiting." I smoothed my blazer, grabbed my folder. "Let's go." The boardroom felt different now, not the decor, the vibe. Half the board was women now, several under 40. Fresh voices, tough questions, better calls. Richard Tanaka, our new strategic advisor, sat center, smart, solid, the kind of guy Dad would have liked. "Before we start," Richard said, nodding my way, "Elena's got a few words." I hadn't planned to talk, but standing there, all eyes on me, not judging, just listening, I knew this was it. The moment Dad prepped me for. "Thanks, all of you," I said. "For betting on change, for making tough calls when easy ones would have been safer, for helping me rebuild a company that puts people over power." I paused, felt the weight settle. Someone once said I wasn't a leader. But leadership's not about noise or titles. It's vision, accountability, doing right when it's hard. Dad built this place on that. We're living it again. A quiet beat, then applause, soft, real, the kind that sticks. I didn't need more than that. After, I took the long way back to my office, stopping by teams, joking with developers, high-fiving marketing interns over their first big win. In the break room, someone had cupcakes for an intern's last day. I grabbed one, sat with them, talked about nothing for 20 minutes. This wasn't just a company anymore. It was a place people fit. That beat revenge any day. It was exactly 1 year since they fired me. 12 months since I walked out with a cardboard box and a polite smile, labeled as not what the company needed. A year since Martin stripped my title, clueless that I held the real power. Now, I stood outside those same glass doors in a tailored suit, a leather folder under my arm, carrying the weight of the company's future. I didn't feel anger or triumph, just peace. I nodded to the receptionist. She stood as I walked in. "Morning, Miss Run." "Elena, please," I said, smiling. "We're all on the same team." The elevator chimed, taking me to the top floor, Martin's old turf, now mine. I hadn't redone it for flash. Kept the walnut desk, the big windows. What changed were the walls, photos of employees, team retreats, product launches led by names too long ignored. Behind my chair hung Dad's portrait, not for show, but for me. A reminder. I sat, opened my laptop, and pulled up the quarterly report. Strongest in 5 years, customer satisfaction up 23%, employee retention up 41%, revenue smashing records. But the how mattered more. Ethical moves, real teamwork, transparency. The culture had flipped. People didn't whisper gripes over coffee anymore, they spoke up and we listened. Feedback was open, leadership diversity doubled. We didn't just hire talent, we let it grow. A knock broke my focus. "Come in," I said. Maya stepped in, grinning. "Ready?" "They're waiting." I grabbed my folder, smoothed my blazer. "Let's do it." The boardroom hummed with a new energy. Half women, Younger faces, sharper minds. Richard Tanaka nodded as I walked in. Elena's got a few words, he said. I hadn't planned it, but the room's quiet respect pulled it out of me. Thanks, everyone, I started. For believing in change, for tough calls over safe ones, for rebuilding a company about people, not power. I let that sit. Someone told me I lacked leadership once. But it's not about volume or titles, it's vision, accountability, doing what's right when it's messy. Dad built this on that. We're back to it now. A pause, then warm applause. Not loud, just real. Enough. After, I wandered the floors, checking in. Laughed with developers, high-fived marketing interns over their first campaign. In the break room, cupcakes sat out for an intern's last day. I took one, sat, chatted about nothing for 20 minutes. This place felt alive again, people belonged here. That was the win, not some corner office. Back at my desk, I reviewed the numbers again. Solid, but I wasn't done. We'd climbed out of Martin's mess. Now we had to soar. Next day, I met with Kevin, the product developer I'd brought back. Got something for you, he said, sliding a prototype across my desk, a sleek device, months in the making. This could change the game. I turned it over, saw the potential. Push it forward, I said. Full support. He grinned. Already on it. That's how it worked now, ideas got air, not buried under egos. By week's end, I launched a new push, open innovation. Anyone, intern to exec, could pitch. Best ideas got funding, no red tape. First round, a junior analyst pitched a customer feedback tool that cut response times in half. We greenlit it in a day. She beamed when I told her. Didn't think anyone'd listen, she said. We're listening now, I replied. That shift, trust over control, drove everything. One night I stayed late, walking the halls alone. The energy was softer, brighter. A whiteboard near sales had a new note. She's still here. I smiled. They didn't just mean I was back, they meant I stayed for them. Next morning, Richard caught me in the hall. Numbers are great, but the vibe? That's the real turnaround. I nodded. That's what Dad cared about most. A week later, I got a call from Caroline Winters. Checked the latest reports, she said. You're not just saving it, you're growing it. Your father'd be proud. I swallowed hard. Hope so. No so, she shot back. She was right. The company wasn't just numbers now, it was people, purpose, the way Dad built it. Martin's shadow was gone. We weren't looking back. Friday, I hosted a team lunch, nothing fancy, just pizza in the conference room. People laughed, swapped stories, stayed late because they wanted to. Maya leaned over. This what you pictured? I glanced around, saw the ease, the spark. Better, I said. She nodded. Good. That night, I sat at my desk, Dad's photo catching the light. We'd turned it around. Not for me, for them. And we were just getting started. A year in as CEO, and the company wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. I'd spent 12 months proving I wasn't a fluke, that the trust Dad left me wasn't wasted. The numbers backed it up. Revenue up 30%, market share climbing, employee satisfaction at an all-time high. But I didn't sit back. Complacency killed companies. Martin proved that. I had to keep pushing, keep the vision alive. Monday morning, I called a strategy meeting with the department heads. No boardroom this time, just the big open conference space, casual, everyone in a circle. We're doing great, I said, pacing a little. But great's not enough. What's next? Maya jumped in first. Clients want faster support. Our new tool's a start, but we could integrate real-time chat. Kevin nodded. And the prototype's ready for testing, could launch by Q3 if we move now. I liked the energy. Good. Maya, get a pilot running. Kevin, push the timeline, full resources behind you. They grinned, already plotting. Then Sarah from marketing spoke up, quieter but firm. We've got traction, but our brand's still tied to Martin's era. We need a relaunch, something bold, human. I stopped pacing. You're right. Draft it. Let it. Her eyes widened. Me? Yeah, you, I said. You see it, you run it. That's how it went now, ideas didn't wait for permission. By week's end, Maya's team had a chat system in beta, Kevin's prototype hit the lab, and Sarah pitched a rebrand. Built by us, for you. Simple, real, tied to the people, not some slick exec image. I signed off on it in 10 minutes. Make it happen, I told her. She walked out taller than she came in. Midweek, I got a curveball. Richard pulled me aside after a board meeting. Competitors sniffing around, he said, voice low. Whispers of a buyout offer. I frowned. They think we're weak? They think you're new, he corrected. Testing you. I nodded. Let them try. We're not for sale. He smirked. Thought you'd say that. I'll handle the noise, keep them guessing. Good, I said. I've got bigger plans. Those plans hit the next day. I met with Caroline Winters over coffee. She'd been tracking our growth like a hawk. You're outpacing the market, she said, sliding a report across. But you're still lean on R&D. Push there or someone else will. She was right. I'd been so focused on fixing the inside, I'd skimped on the future. I'll double the budget, I said. Kevin's prototype's just the start. She nodded. Smart. Your dad always said innovation's the lifeline. That night, I reworked the financials myself. Cut exec perks, nobody needed a private jet, and funneled it into R&D. Next morning, I told the team. We're betting on new ideas, I said. Anyone with a spark, bring it. The response was instant, pitches flooded in. A warehouse guy suggested a logistics tracker that cut shipping costs 15%. I funded it on the spot. You're in charge, I told him. He blinked. Seriously? Dead serious, I said. Run with it. The buzz spread. People weren't just working, they were inventing. By month's end, we had 3 projects in motion, all grassroots. Kevin's prototype tested ahead of schedule, Maya's chat system went live, and Sarah's rebrand rolled out. Billboards, ads, a video of our team, not suits, talking straight. Customers loved it. Social media lit up. Finally a company that gets it. Sales spiked 10% in a week. One evening, I walked the floors again. The energy was electric, desks cluttered with sketches, whiteboards packed with notes. Near engineering, someone had updated the board. She's still here, and we're killing it. I laughed under my breath. They weren't wrong. Friday, I got a call from Dalton. Buyout rumors dead, he said. They backed off. You scared them. Good, I replied. We're not playing defense. That weekend, I hosted an all-hands event. Not a meeting, a celebration. Food trucks, music, families invited. People mingled, laughed, showed off prototypes to their kids. Maya found me by the taco truck. This what you wanted? She asked. I watched a junior dev explain his idea to a crowd, pride all over his face. Yeah, I said. This is it. She smirked. You're not half bad at this. Learned from the best, I shot back, thinking of Dad. Monday, I sat at my desk, Dad's photo steady in the corner. Opened an email from Caroline, latest projections. We'd hit a new high, and R&D was already paying off. I leaned back, exhaled. We weren't just solid now, we were unstoppable. Martin's ghost was long gone. This was our company, our rules. And we were just warming up. 2 years into running the company, and it didn't even feel like the same place. We weren't just a business anymore, we were a force. Revenue doubled, our name topped industry lists, and people fought to work here. But it wasn't about the stats. It was the shift. Every move we made screamed purpose, not just profit. I'd turned Dad's vision into something bigger than he ever dreamed, and I wasn't slowing down. Monday, I kicked off a new project, global expansion. Met with the team in the open conference room, no suits, just coffee and fire. We've got the foundation, I said. Now we take it worldwide. Ideas? Kevin jumped in. Prototypes ready, could scale production in Europe by next year. Maya nodded. Client demands there. Asia's begging for our support system. Sarah grinned. Rebrands global ready. Let's hit them with it. I loved it. Do it. All of you, lead your pieces. By Friday, plans were rolling. Kevin's team booked a test site in Germany, Maya lined up pilot clients in Japan, and Sarah's campaign went live. Our faces, our story, plastered across continents. Customers ate it up. Orders poured in before we even launched. That night, I got a call from Richard. "Competitors are scrambling," he said. "You've got them rattled." "Let them sweat," I replied. "We're not here to play catch-up." Next week, I doubled down on R&D again. Met with the warehouse guy. His logistics tracker was saving us millions. "What else you got?" I asked. He hesitated, then pulled out a sketch. "Automated inventory cuts waste, speeds delivery." I nodded. "Build it. Your running point." He stared. "Me?" "Yeah, you," I said. "You've earned it." He walked out buzzing. 2 days later, his team had a prototype. That's how fast we move now. Mid-month, I got a surprise. Dalton called me to the boardroom. "Special request," he said, smirking. Inside, the board stood, clapping. A plaque sat on the table. "Elena Wren, Visionary of the Year." "Unanimous vote," Dalton said. "Your father'd be proud." I took it, throat tight. "This isn't just me," I said. "It's us." They nodded. They knew. That evening, I walked the halls alone. Desks glowed with late-night work, not from pressure, but passion. A whiteboard near marketing read, "She built this." I smiled. They weren't wrong, but it wasn't just me. It was them, every single one. Next day, I hosted a town hall. Stood up front, no script. 2 years ago, I was fired, I started. Told I didn't belong. Now look at us. You did this. Your ideas, your guts. We're global because of you. The room erupted cheers, not polite claps. "We're not stopping," I went on. "This is our legacy now. Let's make it count." After, people swarmed me, hugs, thanks, ideas. And in turn slipped me a note, "You're why I stayed." I tucked it in my pocket, carried it all day. Friday, I sat at my desk, Dad's photo catching the light. Opened the latest report, projections off the charts. We weren't just leading, we were redefining the game. A knock. Maya leaned in. "Press wants an interview, your story." I shrugged. "It's not about me. It's about what you started," she said. "Say yes." I sighed. "Fine, but it's about us." She grinned. "Deal." That night, I stood by the window, city lights sprawling below. We'd come so far, betrayal to triumph, doubt to dominance. Dad's hand was still on my shoulder, guiding me. But this? This was ours. 1 year later, we launched in 10 countries. Revenue tripled. The automated inventory system went industry-wide, our warehouse guy's name on the patent. Sarah's rebrand won awards. Maya's support system set the standard. Me? I stayed in the trenches, listening, pushing, celebrating them. At the annual All Hands, I took the stage. "This isn't my company," I said. "It's yours." Dad gave me the table, I gave it to you. The roar shook the room. I stepped down, joined the crowd. Someone handed me a cupcake, tradition now. I laughed, ate it, stayed late talking shop with the team. This was it, the soul of what Dad built, alive and unstoppable. Martin was a memory. We were the future. Blogger's final words, and that's Elena's story. Betrayal turned into a legacy that rewrote the rules. It's raw, real, and proof that the right fight can change everything. Loved it? Subscribe below so you don't miss the next one. I've got more stories coming your way.